Dispenser going up!
Have you ever installed TF2? If yes, then sorry. But also, you've probably seen this, the sniper rifle. The sniper rifle is the stock primary option for the sniper, and like a lot of stock items in TF2, it's easily the most widely used and generally the most powerful option sniper has for the slot. It is true that the Machina is better when you fully charge it, and it is true the Bizarre Bargain is better when you get 2 kills, but we're not interested in that. Instead, I'm going to run you through everything you need to know about the sniper rifle. So, let's get started. The sniper rifle is a single-shot weapon with a 25-round ammo pool. It has 2 functions, with your left click firing a 50 damage hit scan bullet, meaning that your shots will hit targets instantaneously and will have no travel time, and a right click ability which will cause your character to enter a scoped view. A couple of things happen when you zoom in addition to more obvious ones like your field of view and movement speed being heavily reduced. You are also able to deal triple damage with headshots, bringing a base damage shot up to 150 damage. Additionally, a team-colored dot will appear on the surface you're aiming at, which can be seen by both allied and enemy players. You can choose to stay in scope, which will charge your shot over time to deal up to 150 body shot damage or 450 headshot damage, or you can exit scope by either right-clicking, switching items, or jumping. After you fire, the sniper will load a new shot, which will force you to exit scope if you were zoomed in, and if you set the advanced option or console command CL_auto resume to 1, you'll re-enter scope as soon as you are able. If you switch items after firing, the rifle will still reload while it's stowed away, letting you quickly swap to a secondary or melee option while waiting for your next shot. If you're looking to pick up some ammo packs, they'll give you these amounts of shots. And finally, here's some extra lightning round facts. The sniper rifle can fire while airborne or underwater. It will stay zoomed in if you jump while standing in water. It cannot deal random crits. And it's available in a variety of qualities, including normal or stock, unique, strange, bot killer, festive, festivized, skinned, war painted, Australium, and it even has a reskin, the upper hand. So, what are some things we can learn to help us better understand the sniper rifle? Firstly, the headshot delay. When TF2 was released, the sniper rifle was able to headshot as soon as you entered scope, which was changed a few months later to introduce a wait period before you were able to inflict headshot damage. This headshot delay is 200 milliseconds, or 0.2 seconds, and it starts counting down the instant you right-click. If you try and shoot before the 0.2 seconds is up, your shot will register as a body shot even if it is square on their head. So it's extremely important to be aware of the headshot delay to avoid losing out on damage and potentially losing crucial picks or close range fights. Just because there is a fastest headshot, it doesn't mean that it's the best option for every scenario. Taking your time to ensure shots hit is far more important than trying to fire as fast as you can. However, in situations with fighting players up close, or fighting enemy snipers, getting shots out quickly can be the key to winning these exchanges. So, how do we learn the headshot delay? Well, practice. This is a website that measures your double-click speed, and it picks up both mouse buttons. And by setting the double-click window to 0.2 seconds, it will now flash red if you double-click faster than that time. Some players might use an in-game macro to fire as fast as possible and study that timing. However, I don't recommend playing with a macro as losing control of your shot timing can make you less versatile. And remember, the fastest shot isn't always the best option. However, it is important to know and use when needed. Up next, we've got the charge time. The sniper rifle's charge meter is quite honestly pretty useless. It provides very little immediate feedback on how much damage your shot will do outside of when the meter is full, so learning how long it takes the rifle to charge to a specific damage value gives us the ability to get charged shots out as soon as possible. So how does the charge meter even work? When you scope in, the sniper rifle will not charge for the first 1.3 seconds after you right-click, even though the meter will visually increase during this time. As soon as 1.3 seconds hits, the damage you do will start increasing at a rate of 50 damage per second for 2 seconds, meaning that the time gap from entering the scope to getting a full charge is 3.3 seconds. Given that we know the maximum and minimum values for time and damage, we can go back to our middle school math class and calculate an equation for the sniper rifle charge. Taking the difference of each value and dividing them gives us our slope, and now we can utilize the point slope formula to derive a linear equation that matches the rifle charge rate, with x being time and y being damage. Now that we have a formula, we can accurately calculate some time values to achieve certain damage numbers, and here are some of the more relevant ones. You may have noticed that some of my calculated values aren't the exact damage value we were trying to match. This is because headshot damage is triple the base damage, meaning that every attainable headshot value has to be a multiple of 3. So to headshot a soldier with 200 health, the fastest we can do it is by charging to 201 damage, with 67 being the base multiplied by 3. Now, implementing this knowledge is not the easiest. With just under 100 possible charge damage values that increase about every 2 milliseconds, it's not easy and potentially risky to closely read the charge meter to know where you're precisely at. So I prefer to take a more generalized approach. I like to skip the charge meter altogether and just focus on the little lightning bolt icon. The lightning bolt flashes 4 times after you right click, and they match up pretty well with some important times. After the first flash is finished, your shot will start charging. During the second flash, you'll cross the 200 damage threshold. At the third flash, you'll cross the 300 damage threshold, and the lightning bolt will fill and stay visible as the charging completes. This makes it super easy to gauge how much damage I'll roughly do on any given shot if I'm not timing it out. I'll know when I'll be able to headshot demos or pyros, when I can take out a soldier or heavy right out of spawn, and I can estimate these things quickly with fairly lenient execution. If you're looking to practice reading the charge meter, I'd just load up TR Walkway and watch how much damage you do depending on where you click during or just after the lightning bolt animation. The more you practice and get familiar with it, the less you'll have to rely on the visual, and you'll be able to gauge shots just off your instincts. The last thing I'd like to talk about is a more advanced technique: skipping the headshot delay. Now you're probably thinking, "Non, why would you bother explaining the headshot delay earlier if we can just ignore it?" Simply put, it's less so removing the headshot delay and more like overlapping it onto other time delays. On top of that, it's pretty tricky and not applicable on every shot you take. With that being said, how does it work? To skip the headshot delay, we need to go back to the basics and talk about auto-resume again. Remember when I said it resumes as soon as it is able? For whatever reason, with CL Auto Resume on, we can force the rifle to zoom in when it normally wouldn't by utilizing specific movement or map geometry. Hitting a surface while airborne and holding right click will cause the sniper to resume during the reload animation as soon as he lands, letting us easily pass 0.2 seconds in scope before our next shot is ready, and even get a head start on your rifle charge if you're quick about it. There's several ways to go about performing this technique, with the easier ones being jumping up onto a ledge or a prop, jumping up a flight of stairs or a ramp, and if you're feeling fancy, even by doing C-tap jumps in place if you find yourself on flat terrain. The faster you can land, the faster you can enter zoom, so you can shave some time off by uncrouching in the air as you jump onto objects to ground yourself as soon as possible. Now, if you don't want to automatically resume after a shot, simply right-click after firing or swap between your weapons. However, there's another technique with auto-resume that lets you bait scope, or trick an enemy into thinking you'll be zoomed and vulnerable very effectively. Simply right-click to unzoom shortly after the game automatically zooms you in, and you'll exit scope instantly, returning you to full move speed and throwing off snipers very well. As powerful as headshot delay skipping can seem, it's not the end-all be-all of TF2. The technique really only matters when you miss a shot and need to get another one out, if you have multiple enemies to fight, especially if they're particularly tanky, and for a lot of those scenarios, waiting 0.2 seconds won't make a massive difference. However, if you're interested in min-maxing your shots and tripping up enemy snipers, this technique can come into play. Or you can just use the heat maker because the focus meter lets you resume at any point while it's active, which means you can skip the headshot delay without nearby obstacles or leaving the ground at all. So, good item. With all that said and done, I hope this video was helpful for understanding the sniper rifle just a little bit better. While knowing every in and out of function times and internal workings might not be the most exciting thing in the world, knowledge is power, and having this information at hand can help you make better gameplay decisions, and give you that slight edge to play the best that you can. So that is the sniper rifle. Thank you.
Yes!
His name is 50 first underscore inside. It's got Rob mine on the ninja law.